What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. This one is completely unplanned. I did not expect to make this video, but unfortunately we're having some issues with the Corvette. Now, I've kind of been on a bad streak with cars, or with my cars at least. First start off with the tire issues with the Dodge, and then now the E30 is having some issues. That's gonna be a separate video. I'll get into that later. But then yesterday, I'm just driving home. This car was driving perfectly fine, and I have the windows open, so I go ahead, close the windows, and as soon as I hit this button upwards, the windows close, my battery light turns on. Once my battery light turns on, the car just starts making this weird buzzing noise, and it's kind of coming from the center console area. I'm really not sure what it is. So once that buzzing noise starts, the car feels a little bit jerky. I'm looking at the battery gauge, and it's kind of like shaking here and there. Anytime I hit the switch button, it goes down. The RPMs were shaking a little bit, especially when I was in second gear. And then once I come to a full stop, the car idles super high. So usually idles 1,000 RPM, but for some reason today it was idling around almost 1,500 to 2,000 sometimes, which is really weird. Now, I have no idea what the problem is. It might be the alternator, it might be a relay. Someone even said it might be the choke relay that's sitting in the center console down here. So I think that's what I'm gonna spend the next hour or so doing, trying to figure out what it is, because I have no clue. I can't really explain the problem to anyone because it's just a weird buzzing noise, right? And yeah, I guess we just gotta figure it out. I'm not sure how well you can hear me, but as you can see, the RPMs are sitting at 2,000 RPM. The battery light is on, and you can't hear right now, but once I put it into drive, you can hear very slightly. And it goes away once I put it into park. So something's weird with the car. The first thing I wanted to go ahead and check was the alternator. Right now it seems to be running. Not sure if it's actually working or not. Maybe the alternator went bad. I can't test that right now. And if the alternator was bad, I don't think the car would be running as long as it has been. It was like a good 20-minute drive, and if that went bad, the car would have turned off and it would not have started again. The car started up fine, the starter is fine. That means the alternator is okay. So my guess is that there's a short somewhere in the car. And like I said, it started after I hit that switch. So I'm really confused. I'm not an electrical guy whatsoever. I think I might just start taking the interior apart and trying to figure out what might be causing it. Just took some time and I got this panel out. This is the first piece that you actually need to take to get this center console off. And then once you get this off, you can see you have another bolt right down here, another one right here as well. And yeah, I really don't know what I'm looking at, to be honest. I'm just guessing and taking things apart. The funny thing is, I'm just seeing a random screw just laying down in here. Not sure what's going on with that. So I got a problem, and for me, it's I don't ask for help when I need to, and I think that ruins a lot of things that I do. For one, I took the entire interior apart. As you can see, I got all the plastic off, the center console area. I got everything unbolted there, so now everything is loosened up on this end of the car. If I wanted to do on that side, it wouldn't be that hard. I started the car because I did notice this wire right here, this yellow one, was being clamped underneath this metal piece. So I pulled it off to the side, and it's almost cut through, honestly. So I'm glad that it didn't cut through all the way. I'm not sure what that wire leads to. It just goes up into this jumbled mess right here. But I called my dad, and this is the perks of having a dad who's a mechanic, or who used to be a mechanic for like 20, 30 years almost. And he was like, yo, it's probably your alternator. So I just spent the last half an hour to an hour just fiddling around with all these bolts and stuff when I didn't have to. He said he's gonna stop by later today. And mind you, this is his car. I don't understand, but I'll forgive him. He said he's gonna stop by and he thinks the alternator is going bad, and it's not bad yet because it's still giving some juice to the battery, but he has a little kit that you can test the voltage, the battery voltage, all that kind of stuff. So we're gonna find out if the alternator is actually bad. If that's the case, then it's a simple fix. Fix the alternator on my E30, so now we just need to do it on this. That buzzing noise, it might just be the car signaling some way, because I know sometimes the battery light or some of the amp lights make weird noises. So it might just be that telling us that the battery is going bad. So before we actually let the battery fully die, we're gonna go ahead, test it, see what the issue is, and then from there go. So I'm just gonna put down the camera for a little while, wait until my dad gets here, and hopefully me and him can sort this out, get this car fixed, because as of right now, this is my daily driver. I kind of need this car. I don't want to drop the E30 because of the other issues that, again, we'll get into in a little bit, but hopefully we can situate this pretty soon.
This one up, move it, the brake will come off.
Yeah.
And then take it out and then plug everything.
Yeah. I might as well just order both at the same time. I'll put that one on, and then if not that, then I'll do the other one. So now we know what the issue is. It's most likely the alternator, which I didn't think it was. And then I'm also just gonna go ahead and get the new choke relay, so that way even if it's not the alternator, we have that piece in stock. And because the car is idling super high right now, and I kind of showed you guys before, it's almost at 2,000 RPM. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is pick up the camera again in a little bit, take apart the entire interior, find that fuse relay, that choke relay, and then from there try to find out the rest of the stuff. So my dad just left. I continued working on the interior, just getting more pieces off. I did luckily find an alternator right by at AutoZone. This is a 63 amp alternator. I think I'm gonna go with that 85, just so I have a little bit excess power. Let's go pick that up and let's get back to it. So unfortunately, I just got to AutoZone and they said someone grabbed it and it's no longer in stock. So luckily he said he can order and it will be here by 1 o'clock tomorrow, which is perfect because I'm gonna go home one of the other cars and then I'll come pick that up tomorrow, finish that out. I'm also gonna go ahead, order the choke relay when I get home. That way we have both parts in. I doubt that's gonna come in time, so we might be waiting a few days for that. Let's get home and start working on the other car. So we got the new alternator sitting right here. Now we just need to go ahead and I didn't even realize that I closed the hood. Now we just need to go ahead, take the old one out, which shouldn't be too bad. It's sitting right at the top, so put the new one in and hopefully all our issues are fixed. Now here's the old one, here's the new one. You can tell this thing probably hasn't been changed in a few years. I would probably say that it's not the factory one, but it has not been changed in a few years. And one thing that was really annoying me is this bolt right here went loose and it was just spinning on me. So I had to rip off this little red washer. I guess that tells you it's a power one. And I had to rip that off. Another ratchet around this bolt right here and then loosen it all up. But it wasn't too bad. Luckily, when I was doing the E30, I got a good amount of practice on fixing alternators, but they're still annoying. I hate doing them. So this one does seem a little bit smaller. If you put them right side by side, it's like a tiny bit smaller. I'm not sure if you can tell on camera or not, but yeah, now it's just throw this back in, throw the belt on, and just get this mounted back up, wired up. Hopefully that fixes the problem. Just like that, got everything in, got all the wires plugged up. So let's jump into the car get it started, see if we fix the issue. If not, sadly, we're gonna have to order choke relay, and even that, I don't know if that's actually gonna fix the issue. So fingers crossed, let's jump in, start the car, and hopefully it's good. Okay, moment of truth. Let's see if that noise stops. So the battery light turned off, but it's still revving really high. So I'm not hearing that buzzing noise. Let me see if I put it into drive. I think we fixed it, because the buzzing noise stopped, or did it? I can't really tell. Yeah, I think we fixed it because the battery light turned off. I'm not hearing the buzzing noise coming from this area anymore. And slowly, as the car's warming up, the RPMs are dropping. So before, it was sitting at 2,000 RPM, and right now it's sitting at 1,000. You can even see on the battery gauge right here, this thing was sitting all the way near the yellow marker right at the edge. And now it's sitting above 13. So we know that when the car's running, it should be sitting at 14.2 and above. So that looks pretty accurate. On that sense, it looks like we're good. The RPMs are still dropping. The good news is I'm not hearing that buzzing noise. And that was my biggest concern, because I didn't want to change or mess with any of the electrical. Sorry, the lighting's so bad. But I think we're in good standing right now. The car's fixed. Thank God the car is fixed. So this car has a weird problem where sometimes, and I think it has something to do with the choke, is that when I first start it, it idles really high, and then it gets warmed up, and after a few minutes, I literally just have to tap the gas just for a split second, and the RPMs drop. So right now, we're running at a solid 1500, 1600, sorry, 600, 500, 600, around there. And that's where it should be sitting. So I think we're good. I think the problem fixed itself. I guess I was wrong, and it was just the alternator. I have a very bad habit of jumping to the worst possible conclusion. And I do that for two reasons, just so I can prep myself for the worst case scenario. Like, if I hear a knocking noise in my engine bay, I blew my engine, like it's done, right? That way, when I find out that it's just an alternator, like in our case, it's a pleasant surprise. It's just like a few $100s that you need to go buy a new alternator and just throw it in and fix it. But thank God it's not electrical. And the funniest thing is, for some reason, this looks like someone had messed around with the wires before. And I'm sitting here yesterday, and this wire right here was unplugged. Now, I didn't see when I was taking everything off, and eventually, when I'm putting everything back together, that wire just popped up. And I was sitting here for so long, just digging through the engine bay, trying to find where that wire went, and I couldn't find it. And then I find out that it's just no longer needed. For some reason, I don't know why. Ask me why, I don't know. But the car seems to be running. No check engine light, no battery light anymore. I don't know why I took apart the interior, but I gotta throw that back in. So I guess that's gonna be a project for this weekend or something. But yeah, the car's running. And again, I'll talk about the E30 issues in another video. It's sad. It's gonna be sitting for a very, very long time, unfortunately. But all the more reason to do everything and do everything right. Just get the car just like fully shelled down, and then rework everything back to the top until it's like pristine condition. Again, I want to build that car like a SEMA show build car. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done. But first we need to address the big issue that's wrong with it. And I just need all of these cars, or these two cars, to both get situated before I start on that one, because it is a big project, and the Dodge Charger is a big project, so I really want to focus on one first, get that finished up. And as of right now, you guys should see the Dodge Charger review video pretty soon. So definitely stay tuned. We still got a lot more exciting stuff. The videos are definitely gonna get more exciting. The projects are definitely gonna just keep getting bigger and bigger. When I first started this YouTube, I did not think that I would ever wide body a car. So now the plan that I have for the E30 is a completely separate, huge project that I'm gonna get into, and never in a million years did I think I was gonna be doing all that kind of stuff myself, let alone me learning how to do it. I don't know what I'm doing half the time, so I'm just kind of guessing as I go, and then I have a few people around me to help, like my dad who came out and helped with the alternator, stuff like that. So definitely stay tuned. We got exciting things coming soon, and I appreciate you all watching. I'll see you on the next one. Peace. you.